children, today we will start new chapter in social science geography, that is chapter number 7, our country India. As you know that we all live in India. In our previous chapter already we study about different landforms of the earth. For example, in India you saw various landforms like plain part, plateau part, hilly mountainous area, desert like Thar desert of Rajasthan, then Kutch desert, then various water bodies like pond, river, ocean, Arabian Sea, etc. So in this chapter in detail we study about our country India. India is a country of vast geographical expanse. So here first of all we study about the boundaries of India. In the north part it is bounded by the mountain Himalaya. Yes, when you observe our map of India, you saw the top of the country, you saw there is a mountain which is our Himalaya. The Arabian Sea in the western part, and if you saw in the eastern part, there is the Bay of Bengal. The Bay of Bengal in the east and the Indian Ocean in the southern part. So this is the geographical boundaries of our country. Here which wash the shores of the Indian peninsula. What is mean by peninsula? Peninsula is a piece of land that is surrounded by water on three sides. If we talk about island, island is covered by four sides, but if we talk about peninsula, which surrounded by the three side water. Here we study about India. India has an area of about 3.28 million square kilometers. This is the total area of India. The north and south extend from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. It's about 3,200 kilometers. And if we talk about east to west extend from the Arunachal Pradesh to Kutch is about 2,900 kilometers. Here the lofty mountain, the great Indian desert and the northern plain, the uneven plateau part or the surface and the coast and island present a diversity of landform. Yes, here in India you saw variety of landforms is there. There is a great variety in our climate. Vegetation, you saw we have variety of culture, we have lot of religion. That's why India is called as a multicultural country. We have a wildlife as well as in a language and culture also you saw diversity is there. In this diversity we find unity that is reflecting in our tradition that bind us as a nation, as a one nation. Yes, we have a brotherhood, we have a unity, we have a prosperity in our culture. India has a population of more than 120 crores since the year 2011. That's why it is the second most populous country of the world after China. So China gets first rank in population, and according to our population, India gets second rank. Now here we study about the locational settings. As you know that we are in a northern hemisphere. India is located in the northern hemisphere. Here according to the latitude and longitude, these are the imaginary line through which we come to know about India. The Tropic of Cancer, which is around 23.30 degree northern side, passes almost halfway through the country. Yes, this line passes through the various states like Gujarat. Okay, so here according to the area, India, here if we talk about north to south, so north to south India extends between 8.4 degree north and 37.6 degree north latitude. From west to east if we divide, if we want to study about west to east, so India is extend between 68.7 eastern part and 97.25 degree eastern longitudes. So between this longitude India passes. So here if we divide the world into eastern and western hemisphere, which hemisphere would India belongs to? So India belongs to the eastern part. As you know that already we study about our time zone. In this time zone, the middle meridian I shown you, which is our Greenwich, through Greenwich it passes. So according to this we follow our standard time. Due to the great longitudinal extent of about 29 degree, there could be a wide difference in local time of places located at two extreme points of India. Through the India you saw 3 longitude line passes, but here we follow middle line for the standard time. As such, the difference between these 2 points would be of about 2 hours. As you have learned earlier, the local time changes by 4 minutes for every 1 degree of longitude. Totally we have 360 longitude. So according to this, we follow the Greenwich, which is the middle of the globe. The sun rises about 2 hours earlier in the east, Arunachal Pradesh, than in the west, Gujarat. So you have already read earlier why the local time of longitude we follow 82.30 degree east longitude for our Indian standard time. If we visit any part of our country, you saw same time is there, because we follow the middle longitude, which is 82.30 degree east, which passes through Mirzapur, and through this we come to know about our standard time. We follow in India one standard time. So it has been taken as the Indian standard time. This meridian or longitude is also termed as the standard meridian of India, which is 82.30 degree east. Okay, that's why we are in a eastern hemisphere. We are the eastern part of world. Here now I will show you one map. Through this map we come to know about India's neighboring countries. Okay, as you know that there are 7 countries that share land boundaries with India. So now I will show you one map. Look at here, student. Look at the figure 7.1, India and its neighboring country. Through this map we come to know about there are 7 countries that share land boundary with India. For example, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Myanmar and Bangladesh. These are the 7 countries which shown you the land boundaries with India. So here across the sea to the south, here we are talking about the South India, lies our island neighbors. For example, Sri Lanka is a separate country and the Maldives is a separate island. Sri Lanka is a separate from India by Park Strait. Here we also observe some islands of India. For example, in the western side you saw Lakshadweep island is there, as well as in the eastern side you saw Andaman and Nicobar island is there, which are the part of India. These are the island Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar are the islands of India. They are in our Indian border. We study about our new point, political and administrative divisions. As you know that India is a very vast country. For administrative purpose, the country is divided into 29 states and 9 union territories. Delhi is the national capital of India. The state has been formed mainly on the basis of language. Yes, in India you saw various states and different language we spoke here. So here already in our textbook they shown you through the figure 7.2 political map of India. Here they shown you the Telangana become 29th state of India in June 2014. Means after June 2014 we accepted Telangana as a separate state. So after that here we study about physical division. In our textbook they also shown you the physical features, means the different landforms. We already, our previous session we already study about this landforms like plain part, plateau part, hilly area as well as the Thar desert, Kutch desert. So now here we talk about the physical divisions. India is marked by the diversity of physical features such as mountains, plateau, plain, coasts and the islands, standing as a sentinels in the north and the lofty snow cap as a Himalaya. Him plus Alaya means the abode of snow, the full of snow. The Himalaya mountains are divided into three main parallel range. The northernmost is the Great Himalaya or Himadri, the world's highest peak, are located in this range, the Mount Everest, which is the best example. So then middle Himalaya, the second part, which is the middle Himalaya or Himachal part, lies to the south of Himadri. Here many popular hill stations are situated here. For example, Manali, Kullu, Shimla, Nainital, etc. Find out the names of this hill station. Already we discussed about it. The Shivalik is the southernmost range, means the third part of the Himalaya. So here through this we come to know about the three parts of Himalaya. The northern Indian plains lies to the south of the Himalaya. These are the alluvial part. What is mean by alluvial deposit? These are very fine soils brought by river and deposit in the river basins. It's a fertile soil. Here you grow maximum crops. They are generally level and flat. These are formed by the alluvial deposit let down by the rivers, the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra and their tributaries. So already we study about tributaries. What is meant by tributaries? Tributary means a river or a stream which contribute its water to a main river, means a small river that flow through the main river. This river plains provide fertile land for cultivation. That is a region for high concentration of population in this plain. Yes, maximum, this is the populated area, dense area, densely populated. In the western part of India lies the Great Indian Desert, which is a Thar desert. It is a dry, hot and sandy stretch of land. It has very little vegetation is here because this is the full of sandy area. To the south of northern plain lies the Peninsula Plateau. That's why this part is called as a Deccan Plateau. It is a triangular in shape. The relief is highly uneven. This is a region with a numerous hill range and valleys. The Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest range of the world. Yes, already we discussed about Aravalli range. Maybe you visited Kuru Shikhar, peak of Mount Abu. Here the border it on the northwest side. The Vindhyas and the Satpuras are the important range. The Narmada and the Tapi flow through this range. These are west flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. Here the western and the eastern Ghat or Sahyadri's border of plateau in the west and the eastern Ghat provide the eastern boundaries, while the western Ghat are almost continuous and the eastern Ghat are broken and uneven. The plateau is rich in minerals like coal and iron ore. Here we find lot of minerals and ions. To the west of the Western Ghat and the east of the Eastern Ghat lie the coastal plain. Here we are talking about the coastal areas. The western coastal plains are very narrow. The eastern coastal plains are much broader than the western part. There are a number of east flowing rivers. The rivers like Mahadri River, Godavari River, Krishna River and Kaveri drain into the Bay of Bengal. These rivers have formed fertile deltas and their mouth. The Sundarban Delta is formed where the Ganga and Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal. So first of all, you try to understand what is meant by corals. Corals are the skeletons of tiny marine animals, which is called as a polyps. When the living polyps died, the skeletons are left. Other polyps grow on the top of the hard skeleton, which grow higher and higher, thus forming the coral island. And in this way you saw coral islands are there. In our textbook, two groups of islands also form a part of India. Already through the map I will show you. Lakshadweep Island are located in the Arabian Sea. These are the coral island located off the coast of Kerala. And the second one, the Andaman and the Nicobar Island lie to the southern of the Indian mainland in the Bay of Bengal. Here the group of islands were affected by the tsunami in 2004. So already through the newspaper we come to know about the various disasters which is faced by this kind of islands. So here in 2004, through the newspaper we come to know about many people suffer a loss. They face tsunami problem. Due to this, tsunami is a huge sea wave generated due to the earthquake on the sea floor. So through this chapter, here we get lot of information about India, about administration of India, about the physical divisions of India. I hope you understand this chapter. Thank you.